a while to find some things that work. And then I published it as a subscription-based indicator, thinking other retail traders would use it, and kind of soft launched it, and it went out, and about 2 months later, I kind of pulled it back. And I pulled it offline, and I stopped selling it. And it was really for two reasons. And the main reason was that it wasn't fully cooked, so there were things I wanted to do that weren't in it. And then the other reason was that I think I was selling to the wrong audience, because I was just getting inundated with like options contracts questions and like spreads and debit credits and like strategy questions, which are outside of the scope of this. But I kind of understood where they were coming from, because as an indicator, this was showing you where price will go, but it wasn't a full strategy or system because it didn't have any entry criteria or any risk parameters. And so this is an early version of it, but it kind of gives you an idea. There's kind of price targets all over the place. And so having an indicator that tells you, well, price is going to end up here eventually is really interesting and might be useful to a large firm, but it's not that great for retail traders. Yes?
Is that a trading view script? Or
this is trading view, yeah. Yeah. Time script. Which yeah, we can talk about unusual features of Pine Script later if you want. It can do 85% of it, and it's really confused. So, although ChatGPT did help me, I will admit. So, anyway, so this is not what the product looked like, but the second early version just gave me. So I kind of understand where they're coming from, and so I put the whole thing out on the back burner, and then a few months ago I was taking different ideas off the shelf, like old ones that I tried, and I thought, let's see what's going on here. Maybe I can put some of these things together, because what I wanted to do was see can I build a complete system that has entries, risk, and the targets all built into one with a positive return expectancy. And so then one day I made this face, and I realized that by putting a few old things together, I was able to do exactly what I was describing. So I want to show you how it works, and then kind of talk about why I'm standing here taking up the time to talk about this. So I think the whole market runs on key levels and triggers. And there's nothing in here that's based on any sort of existing momentum indicator or volume setting or any existing algorithms that I'm
the cursor working here? Oh, good. So you can see the price closes below this trigger. That tells us that we need to look below the line, go back in time and find the lowest, or the next, the most recent lower key level, and that's where price is going to go. So in this case, we close below here. So we go back in time on the chart and find the next.
proprietary trading bot that already has a positive expectancy as a manual form, but AI would be able to optimize all the rest of it. And that's it. So if you know anyone or you've got deep pockets and you're not aware, then yeah. Well, that would be, it wouldn't be crowdsourced or collective money. It would be one investor or one company who wants to take. Well, I think for a 6 to 9 month project, it would be somewhere between $300,000 or $400,000. So, yeah, it already works. Well, yeah, exactly. So the problem with that is that so trading the system manually on a typical day it will return around 5 to 10% ROI on capital. Yes, manually trading. Yeah, super high win rate and very good risk reward on manual trading. But manual trading is a real big pain in the ass because you're staring at a chart all day, you're not building anything. And you're not optimized. You can't watch every time from the one. So, yeah, so I want to optimize it. But the problem with bots is they don't have discretion. So as a human, you've got discretion in, do I take the trade? Do I cut early? What are the risk parameters on the table here? An AI bot needs to have the same discretion as a human, but an AI is trading without emotion. So I think that an AI bot, a goal would be a 20% ROI per day based on, yeah, it is based. And the only reason you can do that is because an NQ or NASDAQ, because futures contract are price is going. No. Let's talk later. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think so. The point of the AI model is to optimize ROI against the signal. So right now you can look at the signal and go, okay, we captured this much of movement per day. So it's going to be 100 points, 200 points, 400 points per day. We're going to capture X amount of dollars depending on the contracts we put on the table. But we might not be trading the most optimal time frame. So you can do this on a 3-minute, like I showed you over 4 days, and you can take longer trades. And if you're going to do that 3-minute over longer days, then you need more capital because your margin requirements are going to be different for your broker to hold a position over multiple days versus day trading margin, which is a lot less. So then you can take the same script and you can put it on the 15-second chart. The exact same principles work, and now you're going to capture a lot more moves, but you're going in and you're going out, you're going in and going out. And so let's figure out what time frames a day, what's the scaling plan in terms of like, when do we add contracts, when do we remove contracts, where's the risk, like when do we cut, when do we come back in. All those things are things that can be determined by back testing thousands of charts, hours of data that would take me 5 years to do. And I think we can do it in a few months by feeding it all into an AI model. But garbage in, garbage out. Like an AI is only as good as the stuff you put into it. Like you write a crappy prompt, you get a crappy image. So in this case, it's a proprietary algorithm that already works. Let's feed that into an AI model and see if we can quadruple the ROI per day. So anyway, so if you know anybody, please. And then, bar tabs on me for the next 5 years. We just gotta, somebody, starting when I get that phone call from Mr. J.P. Morgan. So that's it. That's it. Thank you.
Thanks.
You got a website you want to type in?
We got a website.
Let me get out of the way.
Got a website to type in. Whoop. Oh, I already screwed it up. Not even looking at it. So, a few of these meetings during the summer, I was absent until bar time. I was hanging out across town over at Resource for a computer music club, which is another special interest of mine. But here's where it crosses over into VR Club, because I've been working on this this VR music making environment, and Sunday I'm gonna be performing with it live at Resource Sunday afternoon at noon, and this is like a little taste of what that's gonna look like. I've got these little like primitive musical building blocks that I can place around in space and kind of construct little themes and whatnot. I've got some custom instruments and stuff, and it's all spatial audio, so you don't really have to do that much if you're in just nice ambient music. Just like waving a speaker around your head does a lot.
Is it an event or just you?
This will be just me performing for some time, and then whoever wants to try it out for themselves afterwards, I'll pop a headset on them, and we'll just hang out.
What's Resource?
Resource is like a DIY space. It's at 512 24th Street East or something like that. It's 24th.
Do it on the laptop.
Yeah. East 24th Street. 512 East 24th Street. And they've got a bunch of all kinds of events, music mostly, but there's like a dance studio next door. There's dance and art, and Tuesday mornings there's a pop-up cafe, and they've got like pop-up groceries, whatever, community stuff.
Are a lot of people there?
It varies a lot. Sometimes it's packed, sometimes there's like 2 people. So, yep. That's that. So this is musicality.computer/VR if you want to check out any of this other stuff. There's kind of a wide range of examples of how I've used it so far, and then there's a little questionnaire as well if you want to ask a question.
Say the name of it again,
musicality.computer/VR. Thanks.
Anybody else? You don't have to have a website, you can just talk. Are we doing a Matt?
So, can you type Minnesota Electronic Theater .com, see if anything comes up? Hi, my name's Scott Gaff. I run an animation festival every beginning of every December called the Minnesota Electronic Theater. This website, which is minnesotaelectronictheater.com, might be...
.org.
What's that?
.org.
.org, might be full of shit, but if you have some cool animation or some stuff that you want to share with the community, you can submit it. And there we have it's a juried show, and we pick the best stuff that we can see, and we get together in a space, and our favorite space has been closed. And I'm testing out, Marty and Mimi is going to test out a space that's near where Marty lives in downtown. It's probably going to be the 4th or 5th of December. And we'll try to, in the Discord, we'll let everybody know about that. But right now, the submissions are open. And so if you have some animation or some computer graphics, mainly animation, that you'd love to submit, you could go to this website here. Thank you very much. If you got any questions, ask me.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, last call for plugs. Going, gone. Let's see. Do that. Here's a couple from the larger kind of game dev group. There's a longtime podcast called Nice Games. Check it out if you're into hearing about game development, generally indie, small teams. Nerdery, or I guess Nerdery employees, do have a long-running contribution to a charity called Extra Life. That's something you could check out. I'm not sure why they did a QR code, but it's just extra-life.org, and this is the important thing. That's Team Nerdery. So check that out. It's it's just marathon gaming, raising money for kids in the hospital.
A big in-person thing where they're gonna have like board games and like a craft fair sort of thing and a bunch of like retro games and stuff too. And Troy had mentioned for people in the local community, if you want to bring in a game and have people play it, they'll make space for you.
November 2nd, that's the state.
What? Yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right. Here, talk about this.
Oh, okay, sure. That's still in there. Sure. Hasn't happened yet. A mega game is coming. We haven't had a mega game in Minnesota since pre-COVID.
Mega what?
A mega game is a cross between a role-playing game and a board game that you play with 40 to 100 people. This one is, I think, 40-something players. If that sounds cool, ask me more later. Thanks.
Thanks. All right, well, let's get rolling. Did we decide who's going first?
Either way's fine. I can go if you got it up.
Yeah. Matt, come on down. You get better applause at the end. The mouse is better than touchpad.
Mouse is better? Okay. All right, let's full screen this. Cool. So for anyone who doesn't know me, my name's Matt Foreman. I'm a VR game developer. Currently working on a game called Velociblaster. It's kind of what it seems like. Velociraptors with high-tech weapons flying around in space, blowing each other up. So recently I attended MetaConnect 2024, and just going to do a short chat about what the in-person experience is like. I'll cover a few key takeaways, kind of high level what I noticed from the keynote and the developer keynote, kind of like Meta's business strategy essentially that I'm noticing some shifts in, what it's like in person, and if you're interested in going, I'll let you know what I think is the best way to try to attempt to get an in-person invite. So, with the key takeaways, this year it's clear Meta's significantly increasing its focus on AI. They're trying to push AI into every single thing they possibly can. They've got Meta AI in our Quest headsets now. Has anyone used that? Has anyone opted into that? I think it's not in there by default, but I've heard it's pretty good, right?
It's the same AI that you've got like on the glasses. You can ask it questions about what it sees with the cameras.
Yeah.
I'm
So
using the Meta AI on Instagram.
okay.
Like generate images in the chat.
Yeah, yeah.
That's all I've been doing with it.
Yeah, that makes sense. It might be the same stack as what's running in the Ray-Ban glasses, but for Quest. They showed some like video translation where it actually changes the lips to match the foreign language. That was pretty cool. Llama is their large language model, kind of like ChatGPT or Bard. They got Meta AI voice. Less of a focus on the fake celebrities this year, which it seemed a little tacky last year. And then they got SAM 2, which is object recognition in videos. So yeah, lots of it's clear they're trying to stake a claim that they're a big player in AI right now. Another big shift is Meta cares significantly less about gatekeeping the Quest ecosystem. It used to be fairly locked down. Getting on the store was sort of a black box where you had to really get noticed. But now they're pivoting to a hands-off, may the best app win attitude. This picture on the lower left, to me, it just screams, give us your apps, because they'll just throw it on the store. They want to fill the store with more and more apps. They even are accepting flat apps now, which they didn't allow before, except if you were Steam Link. But yeah, so they're also opening up the Quest OS for third-party hardware. We still have yet to see where that's going, but apparently they're going to partner with Lenovo and Asus. Meta, I guess, wants Google Play on Quest, which is an interesting pivot. So it seems like they are sort of backing off a little bit and they just want to see what happens. And then another shift is Meta seems far more interested in mixed reality and augmented reality than VR now. The Orion glasses are really impressive. They actually had a sort of a display where you could walk up to it and see all the little components of the Orion glasses. For anyone who missed the keynote, the Orion glasses are a $10,000 per unit prototype of augmented reality glasses. They're the smallest form factor we've seen for wearable AR glasses with built-in processing. It has an external puck as well. And it's controlled via a wristband. So in contrast to what Apple did, where cameras watch your hands, you could actually have your hand in your pocket and still control things because it's using sort of the muscle input from your arm to detect input. So as far as Meta being less interested in mixed reality and augmented reality than VR, that's not to say they're backing off on VR. It just seems like they have it all figured out at this point, and they feel like they want to press forward with augmented reality glasses with the vision of really compacting the technology down. They sort of described Orion as like a look into the future, which is a pretty optimistic view, but the technology is really impressive. So give it 5 or 10 years and it's going to be pretty cool. So sort of in the augmented reality, mixed reality arena here, they introduced the MetaQuest Lifestyle App Accelerator. So they're calling for developers to make lifestyle apps that are kind of focused around using mixed reality. So just a few high-level takeaways. As far as the in-person experience goes, Meta HQ is in Menlo Park, California. It's just south of San Francisco. And the keynote is in a big building on their west campus. Big like expo-style building. There's Zaddy Zuck on the right. Got to see him in person. He's pretty blinged out this year. The in-person experience, all the other presentations besides the keynote are at the Classic campus, which is a little ways east of their west campus. Kind of feels like Disneyland. They have like a little street that walks through and shops and places to eat and things like that. So that's where they do all the other presentations at. And most of the in-person presentations are available online. And to be honest, you aren't missing that much by attending virtually. All the information pretty much that I had access to, they put online. So a couple of the presentations I saw, the creator of Gorilla Tag, Caristel, I think that's how you pronounce his name, Smith, kind of gave his insight on how Gorilla Tag came to be. Listened to a pretty cool talk about audio ray tracing for the new Batman game. That was pretty neat. I had used Steam Audio for ray tracing in the past, so it was kind of fun to see what they've been working on for Quest. One thing that you can't do online, though, they do some in-person developer workshops, which are kind of cool. I attended one where they gave us each a laptop and a Quest 3S to use, and it was like a 2-hour-long workshop. The one I attended was about using building blocks for XR. I didn't stay for the whole thing because I didn't really need to use building blocks for my own project, so I kind of just played around with the Quest 3S because I hadn't seen it before and got into some developer menus I probably wasn't supposed to be in. But the actual benefits of attending in person, like I said, most of the information is available online. You're not missing that much. But if you go in person, it is nice to socialize with other peers in the VR industry, share knowledge, experience, things to watch out for, kind of get a better lay of the land that way. You get to meet people who made your favorite VR games, and you can make business connections. After all, MetaConnect is a business conference, so good place to do networking there. If you're working on a VR game, then it's probably worth going in person. Otherwise, you're probably fine attending virtually. You can meet the Meta employees. MetaConnect is also kind of a big meetup for them since I would say a majority of them work remotely. And you can make in-person bug reports to the Meta employees. So kind of a funny story, I was chatting with someone on the avatars team, and then in the middle of our conversation, someone else just butts in and starts talking about all these problems with the avatars. And I was sitting there I realized I was witnessing an in-person bug report. So that was kind of an interesting dynamic there. But yeah, I got to meet up with some other developers from a program that I'm in, which was kind of fun. And if you want to go to MetaConnect, I got some recommendations for you. But first, little reality check / disclaimer. MetaConnect's a business conference, and its purpose is to benefit Meta. So Meta's going to gatekeep the event to people who are partners with Meta, or people who are building things on Meta's platforms. So that would be games, apps, Horizon Worlds, or other technology related to Meta's platforms if it runs on their devices. So you pretty much got to fit this criteria because Meta needs to see sort of a business benefit to inviting you. So unless you're doing these things, don't expect to get an invite. That being said, if you do want to go, by far the easiest way I would recommend is to join Oculus Start. So this program's been around for years, but it's still going. And Oculus Start, if you've never heard of it, it's a support and resource program for Quest developers. So they have an Oculus Start Discord, and around MetaConnect season, there's a sign-up form to go. So little instruction manual on how to get into Oculus Start. It's actually not very difficult. So you just need a Quest build, a little pitch deck, and you need to apply, and you'll probably get in. So for the Quest VR build, just make a VR build of something. It could be an early prototype. It doesn't really have to be polished or anything like that. A Meta employee is going to test your build, but there aren't any set requirements. Just don't make it look super low effort, and it'll probably be fine. Also, you're going to need to make a short pitch deck. Again, this doesn't need to be anything too fancy. In less than 12 slides, just describe the core concepts behind your game and where you plan to take it in the future. They don't need a breakdown of every single tiny little feature. It can be high-level information. And your game build also doesn't need to reflect everything in your pitch deck. They're used to seeing incomplete prototypes, so as long as they can kind of see the potential in where you're going to go with it, your build doesn't need to reflect what's in the pitch deck. So if you have a Quest VR build lying around, I'd recommend just making a pitch deck for it and applying to Oculus Start. You're probably going to get in. So to apply to Oculus Start, just search Oculus Start. You'll find the online form. And for me, it took 2 to 3 weeks. And unless they sniff out a really low effort application, they're probably going to let you in. And once you get in, they have an official Discord server for Oculus Start. It's a pretty big community. I don't know the exact number. I would say several thousand people are in there. And they're still accepting people. There's not really a cutoff or anything. So once you're in the Oculus Start Discord, just keep an eye out for a MetaConnect in-person sign-up form. They post it about a month or two before MetaConnect. And while there's a very good chance you'll get an in-person invite, it's not fully guaranteed if they hit a capacity limit. They try to accept anyone who gets in, but sometimes they can't if they run out of capacity. So a couple other reasons I would recommend getting into Oculus Start anyway, if you're a Quest developer, is that they'll send you a headset and a hoodie. It's going to take a really long time for them to ship it. I'm in Oculus Start and I still haven't received mine, but they'll eventually get that to you. you actually get free access to the GDC vault, and in my opinion, this is like one of the biggest benefits. I've never been to GDC, so this wasn't something I had access to prior to joining Oculus Start, and it's really nice to get in there and see all the up-to-date presentations from GDC instead of waiting them to come out years later on YouTube. And the Discord community is thriving. There's thousands of people in there who are really passionate on VR. And other game dev things. You know, it's a great support resource for anything VR, Unity, Unreal, game dev in general. And it's also a great place to network if you're trying to find someone to partner up with, or if you're trying to find work, or if you're trying to hire someone. You know, there's a lot of really talented VR devs in there. Although the name of Oculus Start is Oculus Start, people of all skill levels, a lot of senior people are in there too. Oculus Start isn't really alluding anything to the skill level of anyone who's in there, and really anyone can join. So, besides Oculus Start, I mentioned Oculus Start I think is the easiest way to attend in person, but there's a few other ways. You could apply to one of Meta's programs. So they got a few that are active right now that I'm aware of. One of them is Oculus Publishing Ignition. That's how I got an invite. My game Velociblaster was accepted for this program. They also have the MetaQuest Lifestyle App Accelerator program. That's the one I mentioned earlier that's kind of about mixed reality applications. And Meta's kind of pouring money into Horizon Worlds. So they have Horizon Worlds Creator Monetization Partner Program, and they have an actual creator fund. So you could take a swing at it by applying to one of these programs if it fits for you. And also just keep an eye out for new Meta programs. They occasionally pop up, and if you get into any of their programs, you're more than likely going to get an in-person invite to MetaConnect. The last one, and probably the most difficult one, because your career has to align with it, is get hired by a game studio or publisher that's already associated with Meta and just ask them for an invite, and they'll probably say yes. So that's how to go to MetaConnect in person. Unfortunately, it's gated. It used to be for everyone back in the Oculus Connect days. Yeah, question?
Yeah, just since you were there in person, did anybody talk about why they still use the name Oculus?
No, I'm not sure why. I think they're probably going to rebrand it to MetaStart or something like that soon, but the Discord still has the Oculus logo, so RIP. Yeah, I don't know. People like the name Oculus, though. Who'd have thought? Yeah, I agree. It's a very interesting rebrand, but yeah, anyway, just a few random recommendations. If you do decide to go, or if you do get access to MetaConnect, be sure to visit San Francisco. It's right near Menlo Park, and do a cable car ride. Highly recommend. It's a great way to see the city. Get to the keynote early if you actually want to get a seat and see Zuck and not be placed into an overflow section. Also, it's really not worth bringing your headset inside the event. I did the first day I was there. I brought a backpack and a headset. Didn't pull it out once. There's just too much going on, and no one's really doing VR demos, just so you know. And the official hotel is probably the most convenient option because there's a free shuttle they bus you to and from Meta HQ each day. I would say after the event ends, there are probably some people looking around to do VR demos in the hotel lobby, so you might be able to do that after the event if you wanted. And another recommendation is to go to the Silicon Valley VR meetup in San Jose. It's basically the Silicon Valley version of this VR meetup, and they have really good speakers during MetaConnect. When I was there, I listened to a presentation by the woman who invented Airlink, so it was kind of cool to hear about her adventures with Carmack, and it was kind of fun because for some reason she actually wasn't under an NDA, so she was just going off on all these things, and it was really interesting to listen to. So yeah, be sure to check out SVVR if you make it there. And that's all I got for this short talk, so if there's any questions, I can do my best to answer them.
What's the percentage kind of mix of VR, AR, and other stuff, like AI and other things?
Oh yeah, good question. I would say this year there was definitely an uptick in AI. They're really focusing on llama developers. I think they had a whole section for them in the keynote. But I would say maybe 30% VR people, 30% Horizon people, 30%, other AI developers, something like that. That's purely anecdotal. I could be way off.
But they had special, like your workshop they had for AI things?
Yeah, they had AI workshops. I never went to any of that or wasn't really even thinking about it. But yeah, they had special presentations just for like llama developers and things like that. Yeah. Yeah.
You mentioned those like really high quality avatars. They make like 1,000 pictures of yourself.
The codec avatars, not really there. That wasn't really a focus this year. I don't think that's ever going to reach production or like in public. I think that's kind of like a cool tech demo, but they're going to really need to change it if they actually want to commercialize it and launch it. Any other questions? You got one.
That's the guy you're working on Neolithic Dawn with, right?
Yeah, that's my buddy James Bellion. He's working on Neolithic Dawn, which I was working on prior to Velociblaster. Recently, I kind of hopped off on, and I'm doing my own thing because I was accepted into Oculus Publishing Ignition.
Oh, you're not working with them no more?
No, not anymore. I had to hop off of that one to work on my own game. So, yeah. Well, cool. That's all I got. Thanks.
Paul, call it. Now or later? Now, it seems like now. Oh yeah, you already
I
talked.
didn't really talk. I just played a video.
I got this deck
Here's
here.
where that came from, too.
Mouse better, you're right-handed, aren't you?
It's just World.
Oh wait, I'll do all the streaming crap. I'll be your DJ.
All right. Yeah. It's cute. It's fun. I didn't come up with the name, so it doesn't bother me. I just worked there. I slapped together this presentation, AI. So Prezi's got an AI, and I tried that out. We'll see how it did.
Nobody knows.
Yeah, so I've been at Wooorld since before we launched. We were an official launch title for the Quest Pro. My name's Paul Christian, by the way. Most of you have talked to me before. Yeah, so I've been at Wooorld since before we launched in the store, and it's been about 2 years now. We have like sort of big infrequent updates, and we're thought we might have released World 2.0 last week, but we're still chipping away at it. It's getting close. We've been beta testing with a core group of power users and moderators, getting everything ready to go. So we started out being this, we can go to the next slide. It's not very structured, and there's like, yeah, that's some AI marketing. So we released in 2022. Meta dramatized.
Entirely new category.
Sorry. Yeah, Meta like dramatized like a cartoon version of our app for their Quest Pro commercial. It's pretty cute. So it's kind of like that. You get this tabletop 3D map of the world that you can manipulate with your hands or controllers, and then look at Google Street Views from all over the place. And then we've got a mini game that's loosely, not so loosely, based on GeoGuessr, or plop you in a random street view, and you try and guess where in the world you are. Which, yeah, you play the trailer. This is our trailer. Is kind of just what the app looked like 2 years ago. Be anywhere with anyone instantly. So when we launched, you know, Google Earth VR was a thing, but only on PC. And it just, well, wasn't available. They didn't make their data available, and also it was questionable about, you know, whether mobile headset could run Google Earth, something like Google Earth. But what we had that Google Earth didn't have is other people. So we're like, first and foremost, a social VR app. The users, we have some, you know, a tight-knit group of core users that are very passionate about just like, you know, they've found a home in VR where they hang out every day. Some people are in there like more than I'm on a computer. Just like exploring the world, finding street views, finding cool panoramas, meeting up and playing Where in the World every day with their friends. Keep on going. Yeah, so that was Microsoft Bing had a garage project, which is what our app is all based on, and that's the like 3D Earth tabletop map kind of situation. They are shutting down that service. Luckily, Google has opened up their service, and yeah, that happened several months ago. But as you may imagine, transitioning from a tabletop map in a room with people is quite a different social dynamic than everyone being inside the map, or actually some people inside the map, some people outside the map, mixed reality. There was just a lot to rethink and redesign, and technical hurdles to overcome to get it running smoothly enough. This slide on the 3 O's, 2 O's. We like to say it's a typo. AI thinks otherwise. Interestingly, World with 2 O's is like this quirky like AR demo that someone whipped up.
iOS, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, like several years ago. You can play it briefly because it looks just wacky. Maybe skip it.
Where's the audio?
Like, this is what AR is all about. To be clear, this is World with 2 O's, no affiliation. But this is something someone whipped up like several years ago. Konnichiwa, everyone. Is it okay? Yeah. Okay. Next slide. Next.
There you
go. Yeah. So just about a year ago, 2 years when we launched. 2 years ago when we launched, we had a paid product. We had Explorer Plus, where it wasn't called that. Yeah, we had the Explorer package where you do the tabletop thing, and then you have the game package where you do the like unlimited where in the world guessing game, or you could buy the combination package. We had a pretty decent user base, but we really wanted to crank it up, get a lot more users in there, and so we opened it up to freemium, give let people in the door for free and try it out, and then just have some upgrades that you could purchase to fund the app, because all this stuff isn't cheap. We rely on a lot of Google APIs and Bing APIs, and now OpenAI, and yeah, stuff ain't cheap. But yeah, in that 1 year, we converted a bunch of our UI into like a integrated web app that lives inside the VR app for several reasons. And then also with that, introduced an AI tour generator that you just you say what you're interested in checking out, and it does its best to find some places in the world, pick out 5 tour stops, and give a little description, bring you to each one, find 360 nearby, and then like query Wikipedia and Google to get like actual real world data, so it's not just totally making up everything.
Is it like audio narration?
And there is audio narration as well. So I guess, yeah, just next.
Audio?
Yeah, sure. I think it's mostly, there's some talking. So this is the next iteration. This is a year ago. So there's a little web browser where you could search Wikipedia, and then it'll spawn these 3D pins on the map there's like two-way communication. Click on the pin, it surfaces a click event in the web. And so you get the idea. Yeah, I think that's pretty much. And yeah, social VR, just like some screenshots, some things I thought were pretty cool from our Discord. Some of our users self-organized, and they're setting up an in-person meetup in London next year. So that's pretty neat. I believe I'm invited. Yeah, it's just like people, meeting online, hanging out in VR, and liking each other enough to meet up and care to meet in person. People are organizing tournaments of where in the world. Like we saw, there's like some unofficial tournaments with like brackets, and we've got a few YouTubers that are narrating their experience in the tournaments. Yeah, you can click next. I don't know if you need to watch all that.
My recap of the quarterfinal round I played in the World Tournament. That is a VR version of GeoGuessr for those who don't know. So let's begin. So I get dropped in what I don't consider an ideal round for me. However, what's not a good round for me is probably not a good round for my opponent. So felt okay about that. My initial vibe was northern Italy. I had been to northern Italy
Yeah,
before in the game. It
go
had
ahead. That's
similar feel, but it
just a
didn't
little
quite
taste.
feel right.
And then, yeah, just some more little, there's a cool post someone posted on Blue Sky of these two childhood best friends from kindergarten, it looks like, get together on the regular and play Where in the World, because they don't live near each other, but they meet up in VR. All this copy is just AI mumbo jumbo. And then, yeah, here's just more users hanging out. I don't know if there's any, there's probably another couple slides with like some content, and yeah, this person got into our, we've got some, we don't have any actual lights in, it's all like an unlit Unity scene just to save on, you know, whatever CPU and GPU we can, but we've got just like some shaders to emulate lighting that you know, some people have gotten into and really placed themselves in the scene as if they're traveling for real.
They just move close to a certain thing on the map.
And just like we've got a few presets, few lighting presets that they'll match up manually. Try one more slide. That might be just like, yeah.
The line.
Keep one more. I think I put some notes. Yeah, these are all great ideas, great concepts. Keep going.
What is that?
I don't know, man. I thought I had some. Well, yeah. Anyway, over the past year, they've been working on V2, which is just like a lot of work of taking all these like. You know, we've got a lot of features in the app that are just kind of all over the place. If you've developed in Unity, you know that it can turn into just kind of a mess of spaghetti and stuff. So we've been working on consolidating things, turning things into like more of a command-based architecture. One that helps for the web integration. So, you know, I could just have a React app in the web, click a button, and it, you know, does something like teleport you across the earth in Unity, and then something that we're rolling out with V2 is just like everyone else, we got an AI assistant that you can do most things in the app without opening up the menu and using a UI. You can just talk and do the things. And I guess I'll just switch over to streaming a little demo of a dev build. Yeah, it's all just junk from here on out.
B+. All right, you awake?
Let's see.
Looks like it.
Yeah. Let's.
So Quest 3 actually has physically rotated panels in real space, so then the things that it rendered are rotated the other way. And Meta's tools.
Can you tilt your head, please?
Exactly.
This guy, right?
Yep. Meta's tools correct this for you, but Meta added an authentication layer that even though we can easily stream from this headset, the tool will not allow us to because Paul's got a different user account than mine. There's no actual security, but the developers are blocked from using the Meta tool.
I've got this, we've got MR, got a little bit of a pano back there. There's our lobby, there's Matt. Do you get audio or no?
Not on ADB,
Okay.
or on screen copy.
All right, well, there's a new soundtrack.
I can help with this one.
Yeah, that's all right. Let's see. It's up a little.
Don't do that.
Yeah, sorry. It's actually really quiet. I don't know why.
Oh, you want to blast it out the side speakers?
I was, and whatever. It's not too important. Yeah, so I'll just get right to it and get into a private world.
Is this your developer upcoming version?
Yes, this is a developer build that even our beta testers don't have yet. There are a few dozen builds behind us, but we're hoping to get this to them this week and then get it out for real. I don't know, next week. So this is Google Earth. It's not quite as detailed as the official Google Earth VR. That's for one reason. I mean, we've got some auto detail. You know, we've lowered the detail a bit just to make it performant enough, and then you can opt in to level up a bit. But also there seems to be like a whole layer of detail that they just don't let you have. But it's pretty nice at this scale. Here's some. Oh yeah, I could go to REM 5.
Somebody stand
Take
by
me
the
to
window.
REM 5. Did that work? No?
Shine a flashlight out there so you can.
Take me to REM 5.
Need to do voice search.
Oh, there it goes. Yeah, I don't know why I can't. Why my volume's so low.
I wonder if the streaming does something.
Maybe. Are we in the right?
Ooh.
Let's see. So we've got this mini map now. So you can tell where you are. No, this isn't the right country. Take me to REM 5 VR lab. Give it one more shot. And then doesn't look like it.
Well, I think on maps it's REM 5 Virtual Reality Laboratory. The full name.
We were told it's in Minnesota too.
Who's the map provider?
Well, this one's OpenStreetMaps, but let's look in Google. Hey. REM 5. REM 5. Oh man. Looks like I got.
Can you just get it to Minneapolis and navigate to it?
There it is.
Oh, that looks familiar.
That's it. What's that? Oh! Whoa!
Quantum mirror.
Quantum mirror, what?
That actually used to be in REM 5. It's an infinity mirror.
How did you end up inside of his quantum mirror?
Quantum physics.
So you can go inside the building?
Can we go inside the building? I mean, we can, let's see.
You limit how close to the ground people get?
Nope. You could go right through.
Look at
There we
that.
are.
Who's that?
That's spooky. That's imaging they must have uploaded somewhere beforehand and you have access to it. And
Nice to see yourself there.
So it's like a Google Street View tour?
Yeah, it's Google Street
Oh,
View.
so they already did the inside of the building.
Hey,
There's
puppy.
nobody there.
Is that a dog?
This thing's fake.
Kind of disorienting.
And
Perfect.
here I am.
Amazing.
Oh, Virtual Boy, sweet.
Can you go into the virtual
So we've got this laser pointer, which is pretty sweet. Looks like I've got permission that you're supposed to be able to measure distance, but I need to upgrade, which I have. But, let's see, we can graffiti on Rim 5.
Is this per session changes? Or is it like permanent?
It is, let's see, it will self-destruct in 1 hour.
Oh,
But yeah, like we're planning to make these things that you can just keep attached to the map, like as just user content to load up or not load up. You know, you can also just turn off sketches and ignore them. Let's see, we can get down to, we can get on the roof. Where did that sketch go?
You're climbing on the roof.
Oh, maybe the sketch is just like too big. Get it, 1 to 20. Yeah.
there it is.
Yeah, okay. You get giant. Yeah, wow. You can probably see my house from here. We've got a tabletop mode. And that also works in MR. So like the old functionality, but kind of better. You can do laser things. Uh-oh,
What'd you do?
I don't know. I'm getting out of here. Oh, what lake is this? Where am I?
In the lake?
Earth. There's audio, but it's super quiet.
It's super quiet. It's telling me some bike trail in Minneapolis. I think it, yeah. What else? What else? Yeah. We got tours. What do y'all care about?
Can you fly backwards, like up?
You can fly whatever direction your controllers.
Head for the moon.
Oh,
So look down.
No, we can't go to the moon.
That's all right.
You can see that if anyone knows how to like get this sun to not have banding on mobile, that'd be cool.
Turn off compression.
Yeah,
Make your own sky shader.
I've tried a bunch of settings that seem to be the thing. What about take me to Hoover Dam? I'm just gonna show off some stuff that's not gonna be in the app right away because there's technical hurdles. Let's see, here we are at Hoover Dam. And I'll go in my trusty dev console and what's that, a basketball? Whoa!
Get Doesn't simulate the Magnus
Drop
effect?
it down there.
Not yet. Not yet.
We think they frown on that in real life.
They make you go get it.
Have you considered adding wingsuits to this? Where's the?
Yeah. Well, we've got. Let's see. I've got one alternate locomotion.
Some kind of glider would be cool.
If we want to make Zach sick.
I'm safe over here.
We're gonna like
The bungee cord that you swing.
get on get your GoPro out, hang from the bridge.
Does physics if you let go?
No, gravity's not on. Only for the basketball.
Wait, do you generate the physics colliders live, or does that come from the service?
Yeah, they come with the tiling engine, cesium. But yeah, one caveat there is oh yeah, so we're scaled up now, so gravity is scaled down. I just did that today because it seemed proper. But yeah, this is all like frustum cold, including the colliders. So if I look over there, the basketball falls through the earth. Yeah, and if you want to go underground, you can. You would think it's really easy to know where the ground is, but it's you need to load up a tile first and raycast onto it to find out where it is. So I mean, I can snap to the earth, but it's not like it didn't come for free.
So will the giant ball roll over terrain?
Yeah.
You can play some interesting.
Need some lob shadow.
It's out of range now.
You can play marble around
We got
in the city.
we got bombs.
Do you do any like mesh destruction type stuff? Like
Not yet, but
Thinking
like
about it?
yeah, like once we're released, we've got a whole bunch of little like mini games
some
that's
nukes or something?
like on location mini games that we'd like to get into.
Have you considered that you doing mini golf as a mini game?
Oh yeah, of course, of course, of course. Whoa, jeez.
Somebody said Spider-Man, and I think, where did you say Spider-Man? Yeah, go to the city and swing.
Yeah, all that hopefully not too far away. I don't know. What else to show you? What's that? Okay. We got a camera. That's me in VR. This is my old avatar.
He changed it.
Tried to integrate new avatars twice, but they're still breaking things, even though they apologize.
What are those sliders you have on the camera view?
Sliders are zoom and like angle.
Nice.
You can flip it around. It's networked, so like other people are in it. They see a little like Instagram-looking camera and a flash. Change the lighting.
How bad does the spectator cam hit performance?
Not too bad. It's not really noticeable.
Nice.
Maybe on a Quest 2 or Quest Pro, performance is a little rougher, but
Yeah, no, it's not too bad. Still got a comfortable frame rate.
I assume you're not rendering that specific camera on remote
Oh,
clients?
no, they just get like a symbolic kind of like cutesy Polaroid looking game object. Just so they could see where it's pointing and all. I don't know what else to show you. This menu that like flips up and down. So
Can you get like on Google Earth like a globe view or not?
you can get up here. We've capped it so like you can only get so zoomed out. Like and it starts to get kind of messy. Like it's a whole.
How many tiles is that loading?
It's a whole project to like get into space. I don't know. I don't know how
Is it
many
like
tiles
hundreds?
it is. Tens to hundreds. I mean, like these tiles are probably not very detailed. It's mostly texture you're looking at. But it's something that like I don't really have to think about. That's what the engine's for. I mean, I've dug in a bit, and like there's like a bunch of tiles up here, and then the further you get, there's lower resolution tiles with just texture out in the distance. Yeah, got this map.
So like, what do you actually receive from the service? Like, do they send you just like 3D models, like meshes, or is it like they handle the rendering? Like, what?
Yeah, so the engine kind of takes care of that, cesium, but basically we tell it, where's the map centered and what's the map scale. So compared to Unity units, like what scale are we at? Like right now we're at 1 to 500. And it returns, so it requests JSON metadata from Google, and then geometry and textures, and kind of just streams that in. And there's just different LODs that it kind of swaps in and out depending on a bunch of constraints, and also like where you're looking.
But that's not like that's like their thing, like the black box, or do you even know that?
It's so cesium's open source actually, but I'm not like super well versed in C++, so it's like a gray box to me. And then they've got like a Unity wrapper for like the native. So there's Cesium native, and then there's Cesium Unity, there's Cesium Unreal, and there's Cesium JS, which is its own thing. And then they've got a bunch of other products and stuff, depending on what platform. Like they've got this NVIDIA, I don't know, I can't get a read on like what NVIDIA has, some kind of like reality simulation products. What?
I was saying it's NVIDIA Omniverse.
Yeah. That's it. So they've got a product for that.
I have a friend developing with Cesium and Unity. He downloaded like the Cesium SDK for Unity, and then there's packages that go with that.
Mm-hmm.
And there, I guess, is documentation.
What's your friend doing?
I have no idea.
Okay. Is he in Romania? Does he work at?
He's in Houston, Texas.
Is he EarthQuest?
He was like, I've been messing with the Cesium package. He shows me this whole project. I'm like, why? He's like, I just want to learn it.
Is his name Josh? No.
No.
Okay, because
Oh, Josh Bankston?
no.
No.
Josh White. Is our other dev who's in Houston.
We have 3 more questions. That was almost 1 hour.
Let's switch to MR.
Please let it be.
Shoot. Oh. I thought you had a question. Yeah, any other questions or anything you want to see? Anywhere you want to go?
You could wrap it up if.
Yeah, that's about it.
Trollstigen in Norway.
Troll what?
Trollstigen. The hardest one to spell.
You think you can spell that better than say it?
More or less phonetically.
Sweden?
Norway.
AI will correct your spelling.
If you put it in trolls or trolls ST, it will probably be the thing it finds.
Do we want a fun fact about it? Jeez, why is that busted?
Seems like it's MR.
Here we are. It's not very 3D. I mean, the mountains are 3D, but I can't hear the fun fact that AI is making up for me.
It's got trolls.
But yeah, there's definitely trolls here. See if there happens to be a 360 nearby. Nope.
So it can take whatever you're looking at and give you a fun fact.
Mm-hmm.
And
Or you
AI
could like
knows
point at
where it is too.
You could use a laser pointer and like we'll tell the AI like what.
So you have to like feed the coordinates to the AI.
Exactly.
And then it comes up with facts for it.
And then we also have we could say like use vision and tell me what you're looking at, and it'll
Sounds like a lot of
take
API calls. Like
Yeah.
where are you sending those
Yeah.
to?
Several places.
It's just all tangled together.
Yep.
Huh.
Yep. All right. I guess that will about do it. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Paul.
Thanks.
Oh yeah, what did you actually give the presentation AI to like produce that thing? Because like clearly like in your presentation, like some of those things are obviously like from you and like handmade or whatever.
Yeah.
And then it just like hallucinates or.
Yeah. I just told it a little bit about Wooorld. I told it about the 3 O's. 1 O is taken, 2 is a typo, 3 is. Told it what the app does, and then yeah, I gave it like less than a paragraph. No. All the like actual content I just pasted in on top of the garbage.
Let's see, it's right there. Guess not.
So what you're saying, Zach, is yours is going to be rotated properly?
Yeah. I mean, if it works.
Assuming it will.
So I can go through this pretty quick. How many folks saw my full night MR talk, I think September, August? Anybody remember?
I've gone through the deck.
Which one was that?
You were gone.
Okay.
It was just MR stuff on Quest 3. So this is a little bit of follow-up to that. That's the only reason I'm asking. But I didn't do any live demos. I just had videos and stuff. And so this time, there's no slides. There's maybe going to be live. All right, it's there. We go to Wi-Fi. And it's still there. And we do that. And it's still there. I couldn't, does anybody use Cast 2.0? I couldn't get that to work at all.
I've used it.
I've tried it out.
Works good for you guys?
It worked fine, yeah.
Yeah, it just won't even connect. All right, I think that battery's good for almost 30 to 45 minutes.
Yeah, slides, no, but pages, yes. Yeah, so despite being a great VR headset and selling tons of VR games, this is basically better than a HoloLens now at this point. Not quite the same detail for reading text, but in terms of functionality, it's pretty amazing.
It's also not discontinued.
It's also still for sale. It's also, 1/5 to 1/7 the price. Just a couple of things that I actually missed. I thought I was going to do during the intro stuff, but got a little out of hand.
Where's the Unreal when I could find it? I was looking. The UI stuff.
Ready?
Yep.
I don't know. Thought that would work.
I clicked in the blog post that talked about it too, and it didn't mention anything about the UI.
Did you check the future?
No, it.
I'll check the future when I get home.
Maybe sometimes they release stuff later. They don't tell you they're going to release it later.
Yeah, I don't know. You made your own bed. Now go.
All right.
Laying it without an SDK. One of the reasons I'm doing this is just to try to get people worked up and messing with this stuff. Hopefully, some of you will all do the Global Game Jam this year, and maybe even an MR project. If you want to mark your calendar, it is the. I can do this. Okay, first, since I'm already on this page, what is Global Game Jam? It's the biggest game jam. It's global. We've been doing it here locally for, I don't even remember, 10, 15 years, but just a huge amount of people worldwide. It's a lot of fun. And we'll be doing that at Noble Robot again. And we have the date. We don't have the site up. They haven't finished our registration yet, but when you get to this site, it's a little confusing because at some point, Global Game Jam smacked into Chinese New Year or some other holiday. They're like, okay, it's not a weekend, it's a week and a weekend. And we still only do the weekend. So it will be, let me find a date.
Wasn't at the top or?
Yeah.
20 to 26.
Yeah, so that's the week version. We will be doing the, right there, the 24th to the 26th of January. So mark it down now, buy a good Christmas present for whoever you need to, be gone for a weekend. It's fun. And the other things I was just going to touch on, it only took 8 or so years, but there is now a UI toolkit that looks like the stuff they use on Quest, so that your app doesn't look like Text Mesh Pro but blurry on a good day, or look much worse than that if it's an app lab. But maybe the keyboard looks good. Now all this stuff can look like theirs. And it is in the Interaction SDK, maybe not for Unreal, but it was announced for Unreal only a week and a half later than Unity. And it's supposedly going to be in this App Lab app, but yet, as of yesterday, it wasn't yet. I don't know where you see version numbers in here. But anyway, whenever this updates to version 69 for the 69 SDK, which is the current, it'll have that you can futz with. It has tons of other stuff to futz with in the meantime. So you don't have to fight Unity to build it yourself. You can just get it out of App Lab.
The Unreal version doesn't have any locomotion.
The Unreal one?
Yeah, it's missing like 50% of the features.
See, but only you care. The other call out I was going to do that I forgot, the other semi-new thing since Connect, they have basically 3D add-ons for standard Android 2D projects to, make them Quest fancy and have locomotion and controllers and things. Do we have anybody here that builds Android phone apps, or know somebody that goes to the Android user group in town? If you run into them, say, hey, did you hear about Quest? And then you should talk about this.
I can't get anyone at Meta to answer whether the 2D app SDK will support stereoscopic.
Yeah.
Like, they just ignore me.
You'd have to find somebody on that team and ask them directly, would be my guess.
Like one of the guys, I posted on Twitter the other day, X, for people who care. And one of the guys who was previously,
Fuck.
what's his name? I can't remember, but he worked on the MRTK, and he was talking about stereoscopic stuff, and we got into a conversation about it.
And he didn't know?
And he didn't know.
And he didn't know who to ask?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds right.
And I tagged in Boz and the guy from, I can't remember his name, the other guy that runs the Quest developer. And neither of them responded either, so they don't care. But anyway, because I thought, like, if you're going to look at content in 2D, it'd be cool if you could
Makes sense.
have stereoscopic 3D stuff, even though it's a 2D app.
Yep.
You could play a console game, you know, and have it actually be 3D instead of 2D.
They said you could have some crap, like some 3D stuff.
You can have overlaid content in the same space as a 2D app, but that's not the same as having your actual content be rendered stereoscopically.
Oh, you mean like have like I'm masking out a window that I'm looking into and seeing 3D content on this window?
Yeah. So it'd be like if you're gonna play an Xbox game, instead of seeing it in a window that's just flat in a 3D space, you would actually see the depth into the world and all the characters moving around, and you'd be able to play without getting motion sick because it's in a container and not filling your entire vision.
But you still built it with a 2D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you just need two cameras basically.
Dolphin VR?
Yeah.
So you go into Wind Waker, but you're in VR. It would be weird because you don't track your head, so
Yep.
you would see the.
It'd be like a 3D movie.
It'd be like watching a short movie.
Yeah.
It'd still be interesting because you'd have a sense of depth when you're playing the game instead of just seeing a 2D window.
On a related note, there is a 3DS emulator for Quest that runs 3DS games in stereoscopic.
Oh, cool.
I haven't tried any emulators on there yet. Pretty fun.
Yeah, with the
Yeah, the Airlink, I can't remember the name of it. It has.
Oh, yeah.
Citra maybe?
Yep.
That sounds right.
Because that's the not Quest one, but they made a Quest version of the series.
Yeah, she made a Quest 4 code. Yeah, it's a Citra VR for Quest. 3DS emulator, pretty cool.
Yep. Citra VR. There it is.
And the woman who made it is named Amanda Watson, was her name.
The touchscreen marks and everything too with it?
Yeah,
Cool.
And the controllers too with it?
well, I think so. I haven't used it, so I don't know, but heard it's pretty good.
Could play some Zelda on there.
Yeah. I don't know.
All right, circling back to this guy before the battery dies. So at the end of that talk, I had a couple kind of to-dos. I was going to go visit the speed improvements for the depth API, which were promoted as massive, like 80% speed up, or 80% less GPU usage, I guess would be a better way to say that. And then look into Mixed Reality Utility Kit, which didn't have much in the way of docs back at that point. It was just class names stubbed out with not really descriptions on most of them, much less, examples and stuff. And it turns out it's friggin' amazing. So we're not going to talk about the depth API. One of the reasons is because the version 69 SDK works fine for occlusion and stuff, and broke all those weird edge use cases of like ray casting and building your own voxel version of the world or whatever you would want to do with that data. They just took the script out and shipped it. And then you can go read all the things on GitHub about people trying to repair it in the issues there for the SDK.
That seems like a pattern in V69.
Yeah.
Stuff that they just went,
It needs to ship.
this needs to ship for MetaConnect, and
But
we're just going to disconnect this node and pretend that it works properly.
it's probably still better than, Oh, it's 6 months late, sorry.
True.
Only they don't say sorry. So Mixed Reality Utility Kit is friggin' amazing. This is where you start. It has wonderful examples that work right out of the box. Even trying to think of anything I had to tweak to run them. There's some things you can futz with in there to do multi-room, but you know, probably you're just gonna work with one room. I'm just a weirdo that really wants to map my whole house and then move stuff between it. So in a nutshell, I mean, these docs are great. They updated these right after Connect. You can go and query all this stuff, including stuff that's not in your current room. So you can query the bounding boxes and stuff for furniture over there, and we will do that later. And then there's some graphical things that you probably don't know you want until you decide that stuff looks horrible, and then you don't want to build them, but they built them. And then most importantly, you're like, oh, that's fun. I'd like to play with mixed reality until you're doing development. And not only do you have to put your headset on and off, you have to turn towards the thing that causes problems and that physically recreate your use case. And it's like VR, but worse. But there's these great development tools that are in there that just are fast and wonderful and well thought out. And it seems like they've been getting tested by somebody, probably internal devs, for quite a while. So we'll jump right into that. It's just normal Unity package. You do have to get the permissions right. That is one thing if you're bringing it into using your own project. Which reminds me, the one thing I didn't get figured out, has anybody successfully set up a boundless app, meaning it doesn't need a boundary at all, ever? I got it to the point where my OS is like, oh, be careful, like this won't protect you from dying. And then you launch it and it's like, create a boundary. And refuses to let the app run. The docs claim there's some checks running in real time so that you're not killing people by hiding their stairs from them and their stoves and whatnot. But I think there are real-time checks, and there's this whole API for constantly asking to be boundaryless. And they say if you ever go into a VR mode, like you can't. And on Unity Personal, you still got that splash screen at startup that you can't get rid of. So my guess is it's that. It's related to that.
Unity 6 gets rid of the splash screen now.
Well, make a boundless app and tell me if it works.
I don't know about the boundaries though. There's no way to get rid of that yet, is there?
Yep, that's this stuff here.
Programming it?
Yep, there's stuff right on the camera that you can turn off.
There's a manifest entry.
It does, yeah, it does that behind the scenes. Somewhere here they got the samples, just so you can see what they got in there. Oh yeah, so this is really interesting. This is something you don't think about, right? So you've built some VR thing, you set a boundary, you're in a room, you know, your origin's probably in the middle of that, and then you're like, hey, I'm mixed reality, I'm gonna go over to that other room, and all your Unity objects have a coordinate space in that room, so you walk out of the room and the headset leaves the tracking area, or it's still tracking, it leaves the safety boundary, and you go to this other room, and you're like, well, when I launch the app in this room, clearly the origin should be in the center of this room. And you're just like, what the hell do you want, man? Just like, figure it out yourself. So this is what the big feature of the world locking is as you move between rooms, it doesn't like destroy your coordinate space essentially. Yeah, it doesn't reset the origin. In addition, it does something related to anchors and drift that's a whole topic that's going big on Twitter these days. But it can adjust your camera for you rather than adjusting things in the world, so everything shifts and your physics goes bonkers and things like that.
Is drift getting better?
No, but nobody has it good. I mean, Apple drifts, HoloLens drifts, Magic Leap drifts. They used to tell you, you know, create a world anchor, put objects around it. You know, objects over here, give them a different world anchor. Then when you go like this, you know, you don't care what's happening there, and you go like this, and you don't care what's happening there, but instead everybody puts one anchor in this other room and then looks away from it and says, why is it drifting? So they gave up on that and they came up with this. So that still works of put an anchor, you know, on every clump of objects, and as you're looking at them, they're in good shape. Yeah, let's get on to the samples. So the stuff that comes with it is probably the stuff you would think of doing first. Just mapping crap in the room, bouncing things off of it, finding places on the floor that can be used for whatever, spawning different kinds of things and using criteria like put them on the couch, put them on, you know, chairs, that kind of stuff. And there are specific things for chairs to like find good seating positions on couches and seats. Nav mesh for characters and game AIs, and then replacing all your furniture with gray furniture. That's slightly different and more square. That's more of the decoration stuff. Yeah. Oh, and the big one. So it's actually quite hard to project shadows onto virtual objects. And again, these are all simplified cubes, so it's not going to do the right thing to map it across a couch. But if it's furniture or a wall, it'll do a good job. And so this is a fully, like, you just have the joystick and the guy runs around the room and jumps on things, and that's all ready to go right out of the box. So, get Unity fired up as well. And I alluded to the tools. So, right out of the box, they ship you a bunch of rooms, but you can also go around, map things, and export them to JSON, and then throw them into your Unity project. Yeah, we'll do that one.
We finally got Unity open.
Yeah. While we're waiting on that, how many people have done a room mapping and with the furniture and the couches and marked out a couch and a table and a desk?
Manually.
How'd it feel? Did you like it? No. Here's how it works now, though. So this is about a minute. Yeah, it looks pretty good. For $500. There's a dog.
That's vast compared to HoloLens. You wouldn't have gotten your couch in there.
So the dog refused to move, so I couldn't actually get back by this wall like I wanted to. You don't step over the dog, because then it'll leap up underneath you.
In theory, you do this before you start playing, so you don't have to.
It's a one-time, yeah.
Isn't this what the Apple Visions did?
Yep, it's got that stuff in there too. So look at that.
They figured out where all the couches are.
Yeah, everything's still cubes, but it finds them for you. It even labels most of them. Yeah. Yeah. There's certain things that it hates, and I'll do a live one here. If I stream it, it hurts the GPU, so it won't go at a good frame rate. But and you do multiple rooms, and that's not in the video because we're going to do that live. And yeah, it's impressive. So like, it hates stairs. It actually says as it's going, stay away from stairs, and also kitchens, which I think is for the burning yourself liability. But you can do multiple rooms like that, and then while you're in one, you can look around at other ones or reference them in your code and load them up and stuff.
Everybody still just wants to shut off the boundary because it's so annoying.
So you can actually, if you get the boundaryless stuff right for the app, you can run completely without boundaries for the whole thing as you're moving between rooms. And actually, here I got a photo. So this is two separate rooms. A little hard to tell. This is office, bedroom. That's a bed. And here's the wall between them. This is the exact same spot, but slightly to the right. This This is a basement looking up at the rooms upstairs that have been mapped. Yeah, it's getting pretty damn good. And here's just examples of, they show you just a variety of stuff so that you can set your project up to either, do the device thing, or if you just play it in the editor. I'm not sure what's going to happen here. Play it in the editor, you get a test scene you get to choose. So you can do some amount of stuff for some specific room. And then if it's, you're working on a real bug in your real environment, you can get your own JSON into the project and do the same thing. But there is a lot of, I think there's 50. Each of these have tags on them describing what they are, like some of the office ones are kind of bananas.
So those aren't actual scans of your rooms in your house, those are some sample ones?
Yeah, it comes with a series.
Is there a way to take the boundary feed and put it right into Unity?
Yep. So these apps, these examples come with menu items to just save JSON out, and then you can bring that into your project. There's the stream. All right, we're going to do that. Wi-Fi is looking pretty strong. So here's the boundaryless life. There you go. These things.
Careful. Here it makes me up now.
You can see a lot of mapping has happened, and all these ones that it says I can edit because they think I'm in that building. You don't get to pick your names. There's just a really long list of names you can pick. But I need to start naming my projects. See, so this is me. There's boundary me earlier. There's a different one. Just over here.
So you still have boundaries?
That's just because I suck at setting permissions, I think. Now I can leave. And so here's other things that have been previously mapped. Oh, cool. Inside of running file by myself. You may not recognize it out there. There's the picnic tables.
Oh yeah. That's what you were doing out there.
West works great outside, better than the Hollands. Right there's the men's bathroom.
Oh, cool. Oh, no.
I don't know if I have the ability to do meshes across multiple rooms. I'm not menu. Where's my menu?
You left it in the other room.
I might have to be inside a room. So the actual mesh that you see during the scanning, it's really clear that that's not going to be a thing that gets used or stored or that kind of thing. It's just sort of an artifact while you're mapping. Especially with the 3S coming or out now, but doesn't have the line projector, the depth sensor. Really, they're just going to get down to these boundaries, and they won't always be rectangles, of course. But so you can see a couple of blobs of sink in there, and a garbage can between them.
Oh yeah.
When did you go outside now?
This door? Right.
That outside door.
Like this?
There's stairs, Zach.
Quick, someone lock the That was the frame rate when I was out there.
What does it think about doors? It just doesn't care?
Yeah, doors are complicated. So it'll mark them for you like that and tag them. And then there's some stuff in the toolkit to say, I want to cut out all the doors or cut out all the windows so that you can show VR content through them. And I didn't screw with it too much, but like for collisions and navigation, if you don't, people just smack into that spot where the door is marked and it's a wall, but it's tagged as a door. So that's something you'd want to look into.
Remember our OC5 experience? How close are they to doing that now? How would you get this data on multiple devices?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, so I mean, each one could scan, and it's pretty fast.
That would suck, though.
It would, yeah, it'd be nice to sync them. They have examples in their co-location samples for doing it with anchors, but you'd still have to kind of hand verify that, you know, the chair is there, the table is there, and that kind of stuff.
Can't, because there's no APIs to send that data from device to device.
No. But it is just cubes, right? So those JSON files are very simple. It's more about the coordinate space and the rotation that everybody agrees on is north and west and east, west and east.
We have shared spatial anchors. We have shared room anchors.
You can, so you can share any amount of anchors. It's really slow and tedious.
Yeah.
So usually you share just a couple, but yeah, you could. And so each one of these walls that you see, or each one of these cubes, it has an anchor, the exact same thing, underlying it. And then just a bunch of tags on top of it to say it's a window or a wall, or it's this wide and this deep. And I can show you a JSON so you can see. It's simple, yet like there's enough numbers in there that you don't want to futz with it. You don't want to go editing or merging or tweaking and rotating them or anything like that. Let's see, where do they live? This is here. Here. Oh, I guess we're in Open Visual Studio. Yep. So they're really pretty simple. This is the thing you use to retrieve them off the Quest. And then all the internal references inside the file use those as well. So this, you know, for this room, here's the anchor for the floor, the ceiling. Some of the weaknesses, so obviously the cubes, every floor has to be flat, every ceiling has to be flat. That really sucks in my house, which is a vaulted roof. But the floor thing, if you're following the rules, shouldn't be a problem. But in practice, if you want to map stairs, you just have to make each room only go upstairs. So like we've got a split level. I don't think I have a picture of that. But it might be in this one picture.
Your video showed it a little bit.
My what?
Your room scanning video showed your entryway a little bit.
Also, there's this downstairs photo. It's the one I was thinking of. So it's a split level. This is the basement. You go up half, and then there's a, landing front door. Then you go up half again to get to the upstairs. So when I scanned this room, the landing, it took me like, instead of one try 1 minute, that was like 5 or 6 tries. And you just don't let the headset see down lower than the floor, or it'll decide the floor is like over there halfway down the stairs. You only look upwards towards the upper level, and then from down here, I look upwards towards the landing. And it can't do stairs, so this is especially hard, It just throws a box around them, and I think that's fine if you want people to walk down the stairs. You just kind of mark it as someplace you wouldn't go and give it a special tag. But mine in particular isn't even, it's a wedge shape, so it's wider at the bottom than the top. So the cubes really go to crap when you're working on that. But really, I don't think you'd be using boundaries. You'd use walls and stuff, for obvious reasons, but you'd be focused on tables and chairs and the things kind of in the middle of the room for the most part. So yeah, so you can use this stuff, you can edit, you can cut and paste them together. And then you got to start guessing on the position of objects, which is not a fun time. And I think there's a utility to move back and forth between JSON and these prefabs, which are just plain old Unity prefabs full of boxes. So, yeah. So I was going to do a live scan for no good reason, just because it's kind of interesting. The frame rate's going to be really low because it doesn't like encoding a video stream as it's doing all this GPU crunching on the live scan. But you just go to your settings, physical space, and now it's completely separate. There's boundary stuff, and separate from that, space setup, you can do it without boundaries. Like, I think, did I make a boundary for this room? I did, actually. But if I didn't have one, this would still work fine. And I have no idea what's going to happen now that this room's full of people. Something bad. And so the frame rate's going to be lower than what's on the video.
Nobody move. Do you feel the triangles on you, Paul?
They're hot. And if you stop thinking about the triangle mesh as being important, you don't really have to complete it. You have to hit all your walls. You have to hit whatever furniture you care about. That's the frame right there. It's not bad.
It's not bad.
It's not happy though. It should be done by now. It might give up. If you exceed some sort of polygon budget or do things that just freak it out, like make walls go away because of stairs and things, let's just see what happens. Yeah, that's pretty good. It hated the circle tables. It got one.
Not one, yeah.
But even if I had gotten them all, they'd still be the wrong shape.
Oh man,
So.
it's circleist.
And then you choose from one of the remaining names. This is clearly the fitness room.
They love these closed lists.
Yeah.
Subscription pricing.
You might write a naughty word in there in the name of your room that somebody else in your household would see.
Might want to charge $5.97 per month, but nope. $4.99, $5.99.
So then with no changes to the app, if you set it to kind of try to find all the rooms, the other way, there's the new room here. And it doesn't care if like you only got a couple walls, that's fine. And you can see into the other rooms.
So
And then
what
there's,
if volumes intersect? Will it become one?
no, each one's kind of standalone. And again, because the way VR programs have been written and they're baby stepping into HoloLens world, they just assume you're going to mostly work inside one volume. So it's like a special thing to get all of these to work across volumes. So like, I'm currently in this room, this is working fine. I think, leave this room with the headset. It's still working fine, but that API is only querying this room, not this room, until I walk into this room, and then querying this room, but not leaving it. So one of their cool examples I showed in the slide deck was like, you make a mini golf, and there's one pool in the bedroom, and there's one in the living room, and there's one wherever else, but not near the stairs of the oven. And you can kind of see how that would work, but in between, you'd have to do something pretty dang clever to move coordinate space there, hit the ball from here to here.
Portal.
Yeah, you could do a portal. That would probably be the easiest. That's a good idea. And then they generate this top-down view. So there we got a picnic table, this bathroom, this place, that place over there. Fitness room is this one. I don't remember what that one is called. And you got cool debug stuff as you're moving around inside it. So there's a lot of neat tools that they already built. curious what this will do, actually. All right, yeah,
You
so.
talked about doing something with the coordinate space if the ball was to move between those two spaces that you scan. And clearly, like the raycasting you're doing with that block, that's in local space because it's only working when you're standing inside each volume.
Mhm.
However, the headset clearly has a
Mhm.
local coordinate system since I'm seeing all these volumes together.
Yeah.
So, would it not automatically place the ball on the global system?
So the VR stuff's always been weird, right? Because you have that recenter button that
Yeah.
I walk over here and hold this down for 3 seconds and do this, and now this is 0.
Well, in the app settings,
And
on
you're-
these app settings, you can change like if it's stage or world or whatever.
Yeah, but the recenter still persists.
One
There,
of those ignores the recenter.
you can, yeah. I've only done that on an Unreal project, but you can ignore the event that comes through, and there's probably a way to shut that off in Unity as well. Yep. But if you think of the way people are used to authoring VR stuff, I make a game, it works here. If I started it over there, it would work there too. But now we're asking for the ability to walk between those places without changing the whole project, essentially, to be smart. And that's what they're trying to do with the world, what they call it, world recentering or world anchoring or something. You can do exactly what you described of try to do it yourself. Just that Oculus doesn't help yet. That's enough of that one. Finish real fast. The could be this binary. I don't know. So this, did you see that splash screen that was all passed through?
Yeah.
That's what life will be like if I figure out how to do that. So this is just the example of they give you of kind of querying some of these shapes and putting stuff on them.
So you're suggesting I'm going to be walking down the street and a title screen's going to appear and then
Yeah.
some kind of content's going to...
That's now allowed. Nobody said you can't ride a bike, you just can't go by the stairs.
If I'm wearing my Quest out in public.
Actually, they probably already said, all right, so that, it was like tacos, but it's rocks. Rocks on the couch, rocks on the table. Oh yeah, I did it in all the rooms. I'll just turn on everything. They just have some different examples of, oh, that hurt the frame rate. If you want to evenly space stuff, if you want to put it on specific objects, and then one of the better looking ones is stuff on the wall.
So that's doing like a spatial query in your volume to
Yep.
distribute stuff.
And then, exactly, yeah, just showing you how to navigate those subsurfaces on those lines. So this one's a little goofy because those are in the bathroom. These are outside. Here, go check outside.
Oh, they're gone.
Oh, there we go. So, just to kind of get you started on stuff, it's there ready to go. And you can start kind of futzing with it from Statistical. These are rocks. I don't know if there was a third binary, I forget. Let's see. That's the broken one. That's somebody else's broken one. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So I'm hoping get people excited. I think all this stuff would work the same on the 3S, other than it just doesn't have the depth projector on the front, so it's a little harder to scan blank walls. You can still do it, but and you can see clearly with the way they're going with AI and everything that they're going to rely more and more on that to get things done. And then since everybody didn't see the previous talk, and also because Matt, you just mentioned Boz. Boz and I are real tight. We talk on Twitter. I can put a word in for you.
Ask him about stereoscopic 2D.
Fuck Twitter. Are we on the live stream? Did I just swear? There's Boz. There's Boz replying to me, because we're tight. But no, I was trying to get to this.
The last time he replied to me was at Avatar 2.0. He said they're going to be out in a couple months. It was 2.5 years. So he probably was like, I'm not going to tell him anything.
It's too embarrassed to reply to me.
Yep, so this is where it's headed, not just cubes. This is what they're willing to release to consumers now. But they've got this really great thing that I'm excited about, because it goes into the description. If you read the paper here, it goes into descriptions like, yeah, this is a round table. We're going to represent it as 12 pie segments. It's got this many legs, and here's how they're positioned relative to the center. Like, it takes that JSON that's kind of hard to read and just blows it into the stratosphere of complexity. But you see those tables and stuff, like they've got drawers underneath them, and they got legs, and that's where they're headed with it. And hopefully we get to try that pretty soon. So yeah, and they've got specifications for all this stuff. It's really impressive. And that weird picture of him with the glasses mounted to the Quest, that is their prototype functional AR that doesn't have any displays, mounted to a Quest so the Quest can show you what it's capturing. So you look through the Quest and you walk around with the glasses sitting on top of it to do the capture. But yeah, this is really interesting stuff. They also have huge data sets of real rooms, real furniture, real objects that you can just have. Because they're super serious about this. I can't imagine how many people are working on it.
You just have QR tags in all your furniture and speed up the scanning process.
That's next year, yeah. All right, any last things before we wrap up?
How long, what's your battery life at? What was it at? What's it at now?
I don't know. The streaming takes a lot out of it. I was kind of surprised here. So right when I started, it had charged back up to 100. Now it's not bad. 65. The thing that does run it down is that scanning stuff. I think it maxes the GPU, and then it's doing the projection as well, the infrared.
That's what the battery pack in.
This one's been dead since I started, yeah. But, all right, we can call it a wrap. Before we disperse, we'd like to go to, some of you remind me of the name, JJ's Clubhouse. On a map. Go away. Directions. There it is. It's the big colorful one. All right, straight north on 100, 8 minutes. That sounds high. Definitely 7 minutes. How many people want to go?
You coming, man?
8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15. They don't actually need, it's pure chaos, just assemble your own table. And I guess, Marty, you're not going, or you are? Okay. That's what I was just going to say, it's maybe too cold for patio. So maybe 15 or so chairs inside, whoever gets there first.
Say bye, Zach.
Bye. Bye, Zach.
Thanks for coming.